So disjoint and independent, are they equal or same? So most people get, I mean, both are same or different. So many of people get confused. So actually these two are exactly different thing. So in the disjoint, what is the meaning of disjoint? So a disjoint, I have said, suppose E and F, you can say they are disjoint if, yeah, anyone would like to say the definition? What was the meaning of disjoint? E and F, there are two events. So how can we say they are disjoint? Disjoint events and independent events. Do you remember the definition of disjoint event?
They have no common element.
Right, right. They have no common element. So means E intersection F will be phi. And what was the meaning of independent? Two events E and F are said to be independent means
When the probability of none of them is affected.
matlab, yes, probability of one will not be affected by the other. Yeah. So the meaning was E will not affect, probability of E will not be affected by the other. Like probability of, yeah, occurrence of each event. So the meaning was occurrence of E will not affect affect occurrence of other, occurrence of let's say F. So this is the meaning. Okay, how they are different? So in probability sense, since we have not started solving probability, just we are introducing, but you are already familiar with the probability in the lower classes, so we can convince you using probability also. So the meaning of this is, if E intersection F is phi, so the meaning will be like a disjoint, you can say in probability sense, that probability of E intersection F, that will be 0. So E intersection F is phi means, okay, so disjoint meaning will be probability of E intersection F will be 0. So we'll come to that, but to understand this, let's see. Just you remember this definition, you can also remember. Both are equivalent. And what is the meaning of independent in probability sense? So we'll see it again, but by this point of time, you should just remember the definition. So independent event, so disjoint events means E and F are said to be disjoint if probability of E intersection F is 0. And E and F are said to be independent if probability of E intersection F is probability of E into probability of F. We'll see this how this formula came. So we'll see this later on when we see conditional probability. So just for difference, you can remember these two definitions. Okay, disjoint events means E and F are said to be disjoint if probability of E intersection F is 0. Two event E and F are said to be independent if probability of E intersection F is equal to P into PF. So you can see both are different. So two events may be disjoint, may not be independent. Two events may be independent, may not be disjoint. Like there is no relation between disjoint and independent. I want to say that. Okay. Okay, let's continue. So just for difference thing, okay, you remember this definition. Okay, the definition of disjoint in probability sense is this. The definition of independent in probability sense is this. Okay, let me write few questions. Whatever we have done till now. So just we have introduced what is sample space, what is experiment, what are the different type of events. We are just doing that. Okay, so try question. So let me try one, write one question and you try it. So the question is, so two fair dice are tossed. You can write with me. Two fair dice are tossed. Okay. Let A be the event that, let A be the event, you know, it's a sample, subset of sample space. So two fair dice are, why this fair word is important? Fair they want to say because each outcome has the equal probability, like each outcome with probability 1 by 6 in one die. So two fair dice are tossed. Let A be the event. Okay, let A be the event that first die so an even number. Okay, and B be the event. So be ready with your pen and paper. Okay, then you will be able to solve. So two fair dice are tossed and let A be event that first die so an even number and B be the event that second die so an odd number. Second die so an odd number. Okay. Then two events A and B. Then two events A and B are, first A option is mutually exclusive, means disjoint, mutually exclusive. B option independent, and mutually exclusive. Okay, and C will be dependent and D will be none of these. Okay, so first of all, see whether question is clear or not. So you please try, take 1 minute time and you try it. So the question, I read it again. Two fair dice are tossed. Let A be the event that first die so an even number. Okay. B be the event that second die so an odd number. Then two events A and B are mutually exclusive, means disjoint. B independent and mutually exclusive. C dependent, dependent means not independent, and D none of the above. So try and tell me the answer.
Sir, none of this.
Okay, none of this. Good. It is a correct answer. So in the last class, we discussed that two coins are always independent because second coin will never depend on the first coin. Whether first coin show head or tail, it will not affect the second coin to show head or tail. Same thing for dice also. If you have two dice, so one dice show what number, either odd or even, will not affect the second die to show odd or even, like that. So two dice are exactly independent. You just think logically, not mathematically, just logically you think. So I have two dice. I throw first die. Whatever number it show, it will never be affecting the second die, right? So first thing, they are independent. Two dice and two coins are always independent. You think like that. If you are throwing first die and second die, so this will be always independent, because first die, whatever number they show, will not affect second die, because they are not related, they are not dependent. So first thing, they are independent. So independent means this option will be wrong. Okay. And whether they are next in mutually exclusive. So if you want, you can write so two fair dice are tossed. Okay, so if I write sample space, two fair dice are tossed, right? So what are the outcomes? Can you tell me what are the outcomes?
36 of
36, yes. So like 1 1 1 2 1 3 and so on up to 6 6. So I have written the last class. So if you want to see, so I have written this. Yeah. So this was a whole sample space I have written when you toss two dice. Okay, there are 36 outcomes were there. So E1 is now let's come. Okay. So E1 here A, they said event A. So event A is what? Event A is, yes, first dice so even number, right? First dice so even number. So even number, you just have to see, okay, so even number should be on the first toss, like 2 1 2 2 2 3 2 4 2 5 2 6. Okay, similarly 4 1 4 2, just you have to see first dice should show even number. Okay, so first die means first number should be even. So 4 1 4 2 4 3 4 4 4 5 and 4 6. Again first die, so even number, so maybe 6 1 6 2 6 3 6 4 6 5 and 6 6. So these are the outcomes in the event A. Event B is what? Event B is second ISO odd number, right? So second ISO odd number. So how will you write? Second ISO should be odd number. So odd number is 1. So you can like okay, 1 1 2 1. Just I'm caring second number should be odd. 3 1 4 1 5 1 and 6 1. Similarly 1 3 2 3 3 3. Second number should be odd. Okay, so 4 3 5 3 6 3. Okay, then you can say okay, 1 5 2 5 3 5 4 5 5 5 and 6 5. Okay, now you see whether they are, do you find any element common in this set and this set? Is there any element which is common in both? At least one element, if, do you find common?
no, sir.
Yeah, which element?
2,1.
Yeah, say 2 1. Okay, so means A intersection B is not null set or empty set. There should not be any common to be mutually exclusive. But since they have the common element, so means they are not mutually exclusive. So this option is wrong and this option is also wrong, because it's saying mutually exclusive. Means they are independent, but so option D you may write like independent but not mutually exclusive. not mutually exclusive. Okay, good. So you answered correctly. Yeah, so anyone has any doubt? Just you think, okay, two dice you are throwing, so second dice will be independent of first die. Second coin will be independent of first coin. So they are always independent, coin and dice. Two coin, so second one will always be independent of first one. Okay, so anyone has any doubt in this question?
No, sir.
Okay, so let's write second question. Now you try second one also. So question number 2. Okay. So second question is, okay, probability, since we have not done all that much probability. So, okay, let's start definition of probability. Okay, basic definition of probability. So before writing the question, I would say start defining classical definition of probability. Okay, so what is the classical definition of probability? So you just know the definition of probability. Okay, like let S be sample space, okay, of an experiment, a random experiment. So of a random experiment. Then probability of event E, which is denoted by PE. So what do you know the definition of event E? Yeah, what is the definition? What is the probability of event E? The first basic definition, you already know this. Everyone know in fact.
Number of elements of A upon
Number of element in E upon
total possibilities in sample space.
yes. So you already know number of element in event E upon total number of elements. Means you also know like, okay, number of favorable outcome to E, favorable outcome to E upon total number of outcomes. But this formula is valid when they are equally likely. Okay, so I'm talking about equally likely thing. Because we assume all outcomes are equally likely, then this formula is valid. Okay, number of favorable outcome to E upon total number of outcomes. So this when you have equally likely event, all sample space is equally likely. Okay. So what do you know about probability of E? Acha. Okay. In place of E, if I replace phi, so what will happen? Number of element in phi upon number of element in S, right? So phi means null set or empty set. So how many elements null set has?
0.
0. And number of element in sample space must be more than 1 because it was definition. So And a definition of random experiment was it should have at least one out, or at least two outcomes. So 0 upon something is 0. So probability of null set is 0. So we also call it impossible set event. So when probability of some event comes 0 means it is impossible event. So when you get probability of an event as 0 means it is impossible event. Okay. Okay. Next thing, if I replace E by S, sample space, probability of sample space. So what will be probability of sample space?
One.
One. Yes. So replace E by S. Number of element in S upon number of element in S, they will cancel out. They will be give you one. So when you get probability of an event as 1 means they are called sure event. Okay. What about others like probability of E? For any E, this will lie between 0 and 1. This will never go beyond 1 and this will never go less than 0. So for any event E of any random experiment, the probability will always lie between 0 and 1. The minimum value of probability can be 0 and maximum can be 1. Okay, this thing
Yes.
Okay. So do you know formula of E complement? So probability of E complement or not E. Or we write it E complement. So what is formula of this? Do you remember? 1 minus probability of E, or you can say probability of E plus probability of E complement is equal to 1. Okay. So how this formula came? Actually, there is a property in probability. If E and F are disjoint or mutually exclusive, okay, disjoint, or you can say mutually exclusive, then probability of in higher classes you will see this condition comes into definition, but in lower classes probability of E union F is equal to probability of E plus probability of F. So this is a property of probability. So if two events are disjoint means mutually exclusive, means they have nothing common, then probability of E union F will be PE plus PF. So this formula simply can be proved because E and E complement, they have nothing common. So you can just use that, and E union E complement will give you 1. So this is the formula. So using this formula, you can prove this result. Okay. In place of F, you take E complement, and E union E complement is 1. So 1 is equal to PE plus PE dash. Okay. So you remember this formula, probability of not E or E complement is 1 minus probability of E. Okay, what is the formula of in general? So suppose this is universal set, or you say sample space. This is event E, this is event F. So you know EF. This common portion is E intersection F. You know already. So this portion is E intersection F. Okay. So this portion you see in red color, that is the name is E intersection F. Okay. So what is the formula in general? Probability of E union F. Do you know? Yeah. Do you know formula of E union F?
No, sir.
Okay. So look into figure this. Yes.
So probability of E plus probability of F minus probability of E intersection F.
Yes. And you can simply relate to this figure also. You want to take E union F. E union F means combining E and F together. Okay. So E union F together you want to take. So probability of E contain this circle, probability of F contain this circle, and you have taken this common portion twice. That's why you have to subtract once. So probability of E plus probability of F minus probability of E intersection F. So this is the formula in general for probability of E union F. Okay. What is the name of this portion? I'm talking about this left side portion without red portion. So in set, have you not done set theory? So without set theory, how are you doing probability? Have you done set theory? Yes.
No, sir.
So why did not you tell them to say, do set theory first? Because set theory and permutation combination will be used here. Later on, after today class, maybe we will use permutation combination concept, and it is very much useful. Actually, probability concept depends on two concepts. I mean, permutation combinations and set theory. So both will be, they are prerequisite for the probabilities. So you should go through that, na? So after class, you just go through probability and permutation combination. Have you done permutation combination?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, so that will help. Okay, set theory basic thing you should read by yourself. After class, you just go through what is union, what is intersection. Like I was talking about this portion. So what is the name of this portion? So this portion is E minus F. E minus F means the portion of E which is not common in F, yeah, which is not included in F. Or in other way, you can also say like E intersection F complement. Means common portion of E with F complement. F complement is not F or except F. So this portion is E minus F. In fact, this white portion, this portion is, and this portion, the name of this portion is F minus E. Okay, so simply you can see if I want to write the formula of probability of E minus F. So look at the figure and tell me what will the probability of E minus F. Yeah, can you tell me? Probability of E minus F. This portion is E minus F. Again, I'm saying. So can you relate to the figure? This portion was, middle portion was E intersection F.
Probability of E minus probability of E intersection F.
Yes, yes. So probability of E, you can see it is complete circle minus you have to exclude the common portion of between E and F. So probability of E intersection F. Fine. So this is a formula for E minus. This will be used, okay? So what is like somewhere the word will be E or F. So E or F means E union F will be used. In question, they will use find the probability of E or F. They might be E but not F. So the meaning will be E minus F. E but not F means E minus F or E intersection F complement. They may ask you F but not E. So the mathematical meaning will be F minus E or F intersection E complement, like this. Okay, E complement means not E. No, so E complement people also like write like this. So similarly, if you write probability of F minus E, so you can simply say the answer probability of F minus probability of F intersection E or E intersection F. They are the same thing. Okay. Just this was a basic probability. Okay, so let me write one question and see whether you understand or not. Okay, so let me write one question. So question is, so you write the question. Question is, so the question is, the probability of student getting first, second, third division in an exam. So the probability of a student getting first or second or third division in an examination in an examination are 1/10, 3/5 and 1/4. The probability that a student fail in the exam is, the probability that a student fail in the exam is, okay, the probability of a student getting first, second, third division in the exam are 1/10 or 3/5, 1/4 respectively. Okay, so that's not respectively, so you can write respectively. And the probability that a student fail in the exam is, so tell me the answer. What is the probability that they will fail in the exam? He will or she will fail in the exam. So option A, it is 197/200. Option B, 27/200. Option C, 83/100. And option D, none of this. Okay, yeah, tell me. So first you try and then tell me. So what is the meaning of getting failed? Means he will neither get grade 1 nor grade 2 nor grade 3. As in neither division 1
Minus.
division
None.
1, none, sorry. So how none? Question is okay. 1 by 10, 3 by 5, and 1 by 4. Yes. Okay, so what are the possibility in an exam? If a student gives exam, what are the possibilities? Either they will get grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, or they will fail. There are four possibility now. You can simply say, okay, E1 is getting grade 1, division 1, first division. Suppose I say like this. E2 is getting second division. E2 event is getting second division. E3 event you take getting third division. And what is a possibility in an exam? Either they will get one first division, second division, third division, or is there any more possibility? E4.
Dude,
E4 will be either they will be failed. But if some student, if one don't get first division, second or third, so obviously they will not get any one of the division, means they will be failed. Okay, so there are four events, and in exam, these all four events all are disjoint, right? All are disjoint because one student cannot get both first division and second division. So all four are disjoint, the pairwise disjoint. You know the meaning of disjoint, or mutually exclusive. Means nothing will be common. So there will not be a student getting first division as well as second division, right? So all are all are mutually exclusive. Mutually exclusive means EI intersection EJ. You take any two, that will be a null set. Okay, and all the student in the exam will either get one of these. So means you can simply say E1 union, E2 union, E3 union, E4. That will contribute to the sample space. है ना? Either they will get first division or second division or third division or will fail. Will this include all the students? Right? Okay, if you apply the probability on both sides, so probability of E1 union, E2 union. Acha, what is the meaning of this? The meaning of this is they are mutually exhaustive. Exhaustive means all contribute to the sample space. Together, all contribute together to the sample space. Their union are sample space. So they are mutually exhaustive. Exhaustive. So my handwriting is very good. So just read clearly. Exhaustive. Okay. Yeah. So E1 union, E2 union, E3 union, E4 probability is probability of sample space. So what is the probability of sample space?
1.
1.
Number of probability.
And they are mutually exclusive as well as mutually exhaustive. So I have said if two events are disjoint, you can simply break the union into sum. And here we have written if two events are disjoint, look, disjoint or mutually exclusive, then you can simply write union as the sum. If all are pairwise disjoint and they all contribute to sample space, so you can simply write probability of E1 plus probability of E2 plus probability of E3 plus probability of E4, and all will contribute to 1. So what they ask you? They ask you probability of E4. So 1 minus probability of E1 minus probability of E2 minus probability of E3. So now you calculate this. This is easy now. Okay, so sum of all will be 1. Either they get first division, second division, third division, or fail. All together will contribute to probability 1. And you have given the probabilities. So you replace 1 minus, what were the probabilities? 1 by 10, 3 by 5, 1 by 4. So 1 by 10, 3 by 5, 1 by 4. Now you simplify it and tell me what is the probability of E4? E4 means probability of getting failed in exam.
So 1 by 1 by 20.
I'm not getting what you are saying. Which option is correct? Okay, are you getting any one of the option?
No,
197 upon 200.
B option.
Okay, B option. So if you take LCM 5, 4, 10, का LCM क्या होगा? So the LCM is, do you want to take 200? चलो 200 ले लो because option में भी 200 दिया है. So यहाँ आएगा 200 minus 10 into, so you divide 200 by 10, you will get 20. You divide 200 by 5, so you will get 40. You divide 200 by 4, you will get 50. Now you see. So 200 minus 110. Is it? Oh, sorry, I have made mistake here. Here I have done mistake, right? Because it was 3 in the numerator. So when you divide 200 by 5, you will get it 40, and 3 is there. So 43 are 120 na. Okay, so 120, 140, so 190. Oh, so I'm getting 10 upon 200. Okay, is it correct answer?
Yes.
So if I have not done any mistake in calculation, this is the final answer. So okay, none of the option comes now. So this is not the correct option, because 10 upon 200 is none of the option. You just see the check the calculation if I have done something wrong. Just you take LCM and okay. Yeah. So this is 190 minus. Okay. So 10 upon 200, which is the none of the options. So answer is D. Okay. So they are just basic questions. Okay, sometimes they will use the word like neither A nor B. Neither A nor B. So how will you write in terms of symbols? A mathematical symbol. Neither A nor B. So neither A nor B. So means suppose this is sample space. This is A. This is B. So neither A nor B. Neither A will occur nor B will occur. So outside A and outside B, like this. So this red portion, what I'm writing, this is neither A nor B portion. You know, first circle is A, second circle is B. So neither A nor B occurring. So what will be mathematical symbol for this? How will you represent mathematically?
Union of A complement and B complement.
Union of A complement and the union. No. Actually, there are two ways. A complement, you imagine A complement means everything except A. Okay? And union of B complement is everything except B. Now, if you want to take union, the union will contribute to all. So not union, it will be intersection, or you can say like this, A union B whole complement. Okay, so you can write either A union B whole complement, or you can write individually A complement intersection B complement. So you accept A all the portions and they take common with except B, so you will get this. So this formula is called in fact De Morgan's law. So in set theory you will see that A union B complement is equivalent to A complement intersection B complement, as well as A intersection B complement is equivalent to A complement union B complement. The name of this formula is De Morgan's law. De Morgan's law. Okay, so you have to use this notation, neither A nor B, not A and not B. Also you can relate somewhere in question, end means intersection. Okay, and sometimes it will continue to be product. Okay, or will something like union, and it will contribute in addition. Okay, so you can also remember this thing. This will help you. So end is related to intersection, or you will multiply in probabilities, or is related to union in sets, or you will add in probability. So it's neither A nor B. So not A and not B. The end means intersection. Okay. Yeah, neither of them. So take union and take full complement. So nothing of them will happen. Okay. Okay, if I ask you what is the formula for probability of neither A nor B, means A union B whole complement. Okay, this is neither A nor B. Or you can write probability of A complement intersection B complement. Both are same thing. So you know the formula of complement, you can write it 1 minus probability of A union B, right? So this is a formula for neither A nor B. You can simply write 1 minus this 1. Why 1? Due to this complement, because you know the formula of E complement was 1 minus probability of E. So probability of not E is equal to 1 minus probability of E. So using this formula, you can write this. So probability of occurrence of neither A nor B will be 1 minus probability of A union B. You know the formula of A union B? You already know the formula for A union B. And that is probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A intersection B. So you can calculate probability of neither A nor B if these are given information to you. Okay. Do you want to ask anything? If you have something not clear. So neither A nor B means mathematically this, and I wanted to write formula for this. So this is the formula.
So can you explain the neither A or B with examples formulas?
Yes, you can expand this formula, no problem. You can write this here and then you can expand it. Okay, probability of A complement intersection B complement, that is equivalent to 1 minus probability of A union B. And you can further expand it, no problem. You can further expand it using formula of A union B. You can further expand it, no problem. Okay, okay, let me give you a few questions. You try it again. Okay, let me write one question. First question is, you have 3 envelope and 3 letters. Okay. So you have 3 envelope and 3 letters. You have to place the letter into envelope. Okay. So the probability, what they're asking, you place letters into envelope randomly. So without looking into it, yes, you randomly you do. Because there are 3 envelopes. Suppose they are labeled as 1, 2, 3, and there are 3 letters. They are labeled as 1, 2, 3. So first letter should go into first envelope like this. But you do it randomly without looking. Just you are doing randomly. So you place letters into envelope randomly. Then what is the probability? The probability that all letters are in all letters are in right envelope, means first letter should be in the first envelope, second letter should be in second envelope, third into third envelope is. Yeah, so tell me, what is the probability that all letters will be in correct envelope or right envelope? So they will not be placed into wrong envelope. So So you have 3 envelopes and 3 letters. So you have to place it. So what is the chance? Is it 1 by 3 or it is 1 by 2 or it is 1 by 6 or it is 5 by 6? So you try it and tell me. If you are not able to do, then you tell me, I will do.
One by six.
Yes, correct. How you got the answer?
Sir, I arranged the three numbers in random ways. There are six ways,
Correct.
and only one of them has to be correct. So
Yes,
one by
yes.
six.
Right, right. So you have 3 envelopes. You imagine like this: first, second, third envelope, or you can write it separately. So suppose first envelope, second envelope, third envelope. You have 3 letters. So I name it, suppose first envelope, second envelope, three envelope. Now letters. So if you place letters, how can you arrange? Like I'm writing letters now. So first letter, second letter, third letter. 1, 2, 3 means in first envelope, first letter goes. In second envelope, second letter goes. In third envelope, third goes. Or what are the total possibility? So maybe 1, 3, 2. It may be 2, 3, 1. Maybe 2, 1, 3. Or maybe 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Right? Is there any more possibilities? So these are total 6 possible arrangements of the letters into envelope. Okay. So total, if you see number of element in sample space is 6, means total 6 possibility are there. But how many of them are the right? Right arrangement. Right means letters go into a right envelope. So how many of them are correct? There's only one.
Only one.
Right? Because first letter will go in first, second in second, third in third. All are the wrong arrangement. So they are asking you E, then in right envelope, this is 1. So probability of E will be 1 out of 6. Okay. But okay, you arranged it here, but I say you they have 100 letters and 100 envelopes. Then what will be answer? Suppose this was 3, so you just arranged it. If I ask you there are 100 letters and 100 envelopes, okay, let me change the question. So next question is, you have 100 letters and 100 envelopes. Now can you tell me the answer? Then same question, everything same. Option first, so 1 upon 100. Option B,
1 upon 10.
no, let me write 1 upon, okay, let me give you option 1 upon Are you familiar with factorial? 100 factorial, 1 by 10, 1 by 10
Yes.
factorial. Yeah. So now you try to answer.
Option B.
Yes, option B. You know what happens? So let me explain this thing in the last question. Okay, 6 is what? 3 factorial actually. How? You have 3 envelopes, first, second, third. So in first envelope, you have 3 possibility. Either you can place first letter or second letter or third letter. In the second envelope, you have 2 possibilities only because one already you placed in the first envelope. So second envelope has 2 possibilities. So you will place one letter into second envelope also. So in the third envelope, you will have only one option left. So that is left. So using multiplication rule of counting, the total possibility of arrangement is 6. So same logic if you apply, and out of them 6 possibilities, only one will be the right arrangement or right place. So same thing here. If you have 100 dot 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 like this, okay. So let me say this is the first envelope, second envelope, third envelope, fourth envelope, and so on. This is the 100th envelope. So when you place, so in first envelope, when you place letters, you have 100 possibilities. Means randomly you are doing. So you don't look at the letter envelope, you just put it. So you have 100 possibilities for the first envelope. You can put any one of the letter. You put one letter, any one letter. Now you have how many possibilities left? How many letters are available for the second
99.
envelope? 99, because one you already placed in the first envelope. In second envelope, you have 99 letters to place. In third envelope, you have 98. So one by one, you are putting one letters in 97. And then at the end, in the 99th envelope, you will have 2 letters, right? In the 100th envelope, you will have only one letter left. So using multiplication rule of counting, you will multiply all of them. Okay. So number of element in sample space will be 100 into 99 into 98 and so on. That will be 100 factorial. Okay. And out of these 100 factorial ways, you will have only one correct arrangement. And that will be first letter in first envelope, second letter in second envelope, like this. So only one. So answer will be 1 upon 100 factorial. Okay. If you have n letters, it will be 1 upon n factorial. So that 6 was actually 3 factorial. So that 6 is nothing but 3 factorial. So that's why answer was this. Okay. So you can do like that way. So any doubt in this question? So I will write next question. Do you have any doubt? Do you want to ask something or no doubt? Then I will write the next question.
No doubt.
Okay, so write the next question. Next question is so next question I'm writing. It is if so 1 plus 3p upon 3, 1 plus 3p upon 3, comma 1 minus p upon 4, comma 1 minus 2p upon 2 are probabilities of 3 mutually exclusive events. 3 mutually exclusive, only exclusive, not exhaustive. Okay. So these are the probabilities of 3 mutually exclusive events. Then the set of all values of p is, then set of all values of p is. So options are, first option, p can be more than equal to 1 by 3, less than equal to 1 by 2. B option, p P can be strictly more than 1 by 3, strictly less than 1 by 2. C option, P is more than equal to half, less than equal to 2 by 3. And the D option, P strictly more than half and strictly less than 2 by 3. Okay, try this. So whatever question I'm writing that are asked in either mains or advanced or some other entrance exam. Okay, so that all questions are asked somewhere. This question is also asked in mains exam. You can check the paper. So you think and try. So I'm writing one more question. You keep it homework. Okay, you try it. So in the next class, I will discuss. So time is already passed. So I'm writing one more question. You write this question, or I will share the PDF with you. So you will have this. Okay, so let me write the next question then. Third question, and then both will be homework. So question number this 2 and question number this 3 will be homework to you. In the next class, I will discuss because time we don't have time much. So let me write one more question. You try this. So 3 identical dice are rolled. 3 identical dice are rolled. Okay. The probability that the same number will appear on each of them. The probability that same number will appear. Same number will appear. Okay, same number will appear on each of them. On each of them is. So option A 1/6, option B 1/36. This is easier, I think. 1/18 and 3/28. Okay, so you this and this, these two questions is homework for you for the next class. So in the next class, you first tell me whether you have done or not. Are you able to do or not? And is it easy or difficult? So I will discuss in the next class. All right. Yeah. Fine.
Sir, B.
Yeah, you are telling answer for which question? Second or third?
Second.
Second का कौन सा आया? B.
सर ए।
अच्छा, A आया। ठीक है, हम देखेंगे आंसर क्या है। 1 मिनट। ऐसा आंसर बताना नहीं चाहिए, तो मुझे लगता है कि you want to write one more question? So एक और देखो, आंसर नहीं बताऊंगा, so that because if I tell you the answer, then it will be not be fair. You try without taking. In exams, you don't have answers. You have to try by yourself. In exams, they will ask you. All questions are asked in some entrance. Okay, try one more question. Write one more question, so that in the next class you will have something to do. So the probability that a leap year selected randomly will have 53 Sundays. So this question you might have done already in lower classes. The probability that a leap year selected randomly will have 53 Sundays is. So options are 1/7, 2/7, 4/53, and D 4/49. Okay. Okay, try these questions. So these 3 questions I have given, 2, 3, 4. First I have solved already. So this question you solve it. There's the last 3 questions. Then we'll meet in the next class. Okay. Thank you. कितना ही रखते हैं आज? ठीक है?
Sir, मिस को PDF भेज देना.
I will send the PDF. Yes, soon I will send you. So you try it, and tell me next class whether I am able to do or not. Okay. Okay then. Thank you everyone and take care.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.